speed bag is one of the most interesting pieces of equipment in boxing. The first thing it provides is neuromuscular quick reactions which develop in terms of distance, punch dosage, and punch direction. And most importantly, what determines the power of a punch is accuracy. And on this piece of equipment, it's easiest to explain overall how training on other equipment works. And it is hit for up to 3 minutes at a time. Initially, all work on the speed bag should not exceed 15 minutes, because I think that after the first 3-minute session, you will already understand what it is. Today we will show the full range of punches necessary for overall punch development. There are many punches in boxing, and they vary in quality, power, and speed. The very first skill is a slow approach to the equipment. That is, don't try to hit it hard. It's easiest to start with the palm first to understand how it moves, so that you can precisely aim at the line of the punch. These are the simplest movements for beginners. You push it so once it hits the platform, 3 times, and you meet it in the middle. The widest part. On this bag, there's even a symbol drawn indicating where you should aim. After getting acquainted with the bag, you can start hitting. The very first punch is the hammer punch. This is the simplest punch. It's a reflexive punch. It's instilled by nature itself because, as my coach used to say, even girls can punch like this. In fact, it's a very serious punch. In boxing, this punch is used for parrying. That is, you can parry with this punch. It looks like this, the simplest form. One, then the other. Moreover, you should stand frontally here. That is, well, the simplest first stance. No need to shift body weight or anything like that yet, because a beginner, well, most likely won't even understand what that is. Therefore, after these punches, you can move on to more complex variations, like these, striking with the knuckles. The difference between this punch and that punch is small. Essentially, it's a movement of the same biomechanical system. That is this punch. And that punch are performed the same way muscularly. It's just that due to the stabilizing muscles located in the wrist, your muscles rotate. And this way, you can hit harder. Another point. If in the first case you make a small circle, then in the second case you strike strictly in a straight line, meaning this line is already straight. It might come a little from above, falling down, but essentially it's a straight line. Therefore, this strike is more difficult than that strike. It's related to the positioning of the muscles. The strongest punch in boxing is executed on 2 knuckles for a reason. This is related to the muscular skeleton, the core structure of the muscles. The tighter you clench your fist at the very last moment, the easier it will be to accentuate it and stop it correctly. This punching bag, in its simplest use, as I say, from simple muscle tension to relaxation, it's all simple. Like this, like this, like this. A boxer learns to tense correctly, precisely at the moment of clenching. This results in a strong movement. This model is ideally correct. It is complex in terms of contraction structure. While your muscles are not in high tension, you do this easily. But as soon as the muscles start to stiffen, everything is lost. Therefore, it is easiest to explain to a beginner to clench their hand. If you want to hit hard, just clench your whole hand like a club. Really like a club. That is, a boxing bibiri punch and a boxing fist go from here to here, because the muscles that hold the fist are located here. Therefore, from the perspective of a hammer, you can really tense your hand strongly. In a fight, it often happens that you don't always achieve the ideal punch model, meaning in terms of pressing at the end. Well, as a rule, everything changes quickly. Your target might be closer, and if you don't clench your hand, in time you are likely to injure your wrist. Therefore, starting like this, you can smoothly transition like this. Two forms of punches. This is already a diverse combination involving different muscle work. That is, you block like this, strike like this, block, strike, block, strike. This is precisely where the irreversible part of the brain begins, because the brain performs a lot of functions in a very short time. One hemisphere starts to communicate with the other hemisphere. And in this way, the most accurate model of representing the strike is created. The subsequent strikes, well, in their form, well, might even be a bit more complex. They begin after you have already mastered this equipment in terms of speed, precision, and understanding of rhythm. And one strike after another. That is speed and strength. Next, we will show strikes that are already relevant to professionals. One of the difficult strikes is considered to be the short one. This is the long dribble. Here, the long dribble. And there is a short dribble, which is generally formed on very short muscles. That is, here you do not pull your hand back, and it does not work in terms of the full muscle extension, but is practically in static tension. It practically does not return back. This is how a master class is defined. This is already about strength. You can also bring it out, like from the edge of the hand. I will show it slowly now. Here we are already on the metacarpal bones. Moreover, you can twist the hand at different angles. Here you can already shift your body weight and move the bag. All the strike models that you might have in a fight can be rehearsed here. Further, if you can hit it in this position, then you can spin it around. This is a very complex exercise. That's why I said it's already defined as a master class. This is already an indicator of how you feel the equipment. How do you feel it? And the work of different muscles. You can also shift on your feet. And try to hit it while moving all the muscles. Next come the strikes, which are from the first and second. That is, roughly speaking, the long ones transitioning to short ones. Next, exercises begin that are called special exercises. These are double strikes, which are practiced both there and back. If you can hit it there, this speed is only in one direction. Then it's necessary to understand that in boxing, speed is considered when it's there and back. When you hit there and linger, you're likely to receive a counter strike. So slowly, there and back. This is with the edge of the hand. This is already with the fist. All strikes are useful, all of them. The principle of operation is the same. but there are many skills. The more skills and neuromuscular reactions develop, the easier it will be to visualize the picture, or let's say to form the pattern of the fight. So you can do it like this. You can do it like this. Then you can also do it like this, bringing it out from the side. There are strikes that are performed, like the double punches, with explosive power. That is, from a sudden attack to complete relaxation. It looks like this. It starts to stop, and you begin to catch it. It's called a double punch. If you use the edge of the hand, it is also used in boxing. You can accelerate it with intervals, or you can accelerate it without intervals. Also, we're working on it here. You can alternate hands, do one with the edge of the palm, the other with the knuckles. 1, 2. Also, you accelerate it, hit it, strike immediately. Again, I say, approach this equipment slowly. All training on the pneumatic pair. Takes from 1 month to 6 months. As soon as you get used to one, the muscle gets accustomed. You need to change the angle, the incline. That is from all sides. If you keep hitting it in the same mode constantly, well, there's little benefit from that. A person will get used to it very quickly. The most difficult strikes are when you go there and back in the mode of the entire cycle. The history of this pair is actually ancient. Already in the 20s, there were similar versions. They just differed in weight and size. By the way, sizes, this is the drop. There are also pairs, very small, half the size of this one. And there are larger pairs. This is a speed bag. Here, all of them are kind of tailored to different sizes in terms of, well, sort of renewal. That is, you hang a small pair and it returns faster. And that's why the principle is updated. That is, the brain starts to switch from the heavy one. For example, when I was just starting out, well, when I was still small, we had a large Soviet pair, like this one, and I hit it only in one mode, because the coach, well, as the coach showed, that's how we worked. In general, in working with this pair, the Soviet legacy, Nike, left a very large school. Initially, in our training for beginners, all newcomers started working with the pneumatic pair. The pair is truly, unique. And from the perspective of the legacy left by our coaches and Soviet specialists, they all unanimously say that this pair helps. Of course, you can manage without it. And I knew many boxers, both good ones and masters, who never used this pair at all. They simply never saw it. That's it. Because in the periphery, this pair was rarely found in clubs. It was already designated for the Olympic reserve for such, well, very developed sports schools, sports clubs. Very different rhythms. Unfortunately, I can't show all the rhythms. I can only show the rhythms that I myself know. But I know that people hit it in various ways. It's considered that the more varied, the better. There are also the Americans, who came up with something too. As the Americans say, it's the development of the uppercut. The side punch is also practiced on this same pair. You just don't hit straight, but start making an arc. Well, it's clear, right, that if you can do it this way, you can do it that way too. The most important thing here is to get used to the rhythm and catch the pair. This exercise can also be performed quickly. With both hands, changing the direction of the pair each time. All exercises are effective. Even those exercises that seem pointless to you. In reality, it's brain work. Boxing is in the head. It's your perception of speed, accuracy, and so on and so on. All these factors determine strength and skill. So love this pair, respect it, undoubtedly, and develop yourself. It will definitely help you.